All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. Today is July, 29th. The month is almost over. First off, I want to say, time has been flying this year. I don't know. Everyone keeps saying, oh, CERN shut down, which we covered that on a previous episode. Go check it out. Everyone's saying CERN shut down. Doesn't it feel like time is going slower? Am I the only one that feels it's the opposite? Like time is actually, I feel like time has been flying by, like this year, last year, the year before, like within the past 3 years, I felt like time has like sped up. I was talking to my buddy, dude. Like, in 2 more months, it'll be September, which is like the beginning of fall. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if people are just like putting it in their own heads and making themselves feel that way. The time has slowed down now that CERN is shut down. I don't know. Am I the only one that thinks that time feels faster? Which I do take into consideration that the older you get, your perception of time does speed up. Like, they've scientifically proven that, you know. But as far as updates, the other day I did an episode called Breaking Bread with the Enemy. It was just two little stories about my past, my life, some weird synchronicities that I had last week. Just like normal Blue Pill podcast, like life talk about life stories and stuff. Which Blue Pill podcast is my other podcast. Go check it out. It's just non-conspiracy stuff. A lot of video game talk, like video game reviews. Here lately, a lot of Zelda talk, but I also just put like my life stories on there. Little bit of a warning if you do check that episode out. The reason I'm bringing it up is this ties in with it, but it is pretty vulgar and it's a rough one. Like, there's like some gross sex talk, and do not listen around your kids, which, by the way, I've said that like a billion times on this channel, that this is an adult channel. I do not censor myself, and I talk about everything, so you shouldn't be listening to me around your kids anyways. Doesn't mean I'm a bad guy. I'm a little bit different than most conspiracy channels, man. I'm kind of like Howard Stern, you know. less mean, but like more vulgar, or just as vulgar, you know, sometimes. But yeah, so over the weekend, I went to dinner at Beaumont Inn. I had a good time. We ate in the main dining room, which is a little fancier. It's a 4-star restaurant. They didn't have like white tablecloths or nothing. It was actually casual. They just had paper placemats, and it was buffet. There was yellow-legged fried chicken. The reason they call it yellow-legged is because it's corn-fed, never frozen, 0 hormones, so the chicken is smaller, but at least you know you're eating something that's real and not altered with some funky-ass Frankenstein shit. They had hot browns, which is pretty good. I don't know if you've ever heard of the hot brown or had one, but they're fucking awesome. I actually make them at the house sometime. Next time I make it, I'll need to record it that way, because I do like making cooking videos every now and then, and I've made a couple. But essentially, a hot brown is like a Kentucky recipe. Became famous and got its origin is from the Brown Hotel. It's an open face sandwich. It's got turkey, bacon, country ham, which is different than city ham. Country ham is literally super salty. It's cured for like 3 years or something like that. It's got tomato, which you honestly, dude, you need the tomato because it waters down the bacon and the country ham. And Mornay sauce, which is a white cheese sauce. I believe it's French. You douse it in that. Dude, it's fire, man. If you've never had a hot brown and you have the option or chance to try one, try one. So, yeah, I had dinner, though. They had an open bar. They had purple toad sangria, red sangria, which I had some of it. I love sangria. That's you can make fun of me, say I'm a girly girl, whatever. I don't care. I can drink like a man, but like if I have the option to have a red sangria, specifically red, I'm not big on white sangrias, but red sangria, I have to say, is probably one of my favorite cocktails. Like if I have the chance to have one, I'm drinking a red sangria. Which, yeah, it's a little sweeter and it tastes good, but to me, it's a panty dropper. Like, there's actually quite a bit of alcohol in it. It's a shot of, I think, brandy. A shot of brandy, half a shot of triple sec, orange juice, sweet and sour, and then you top it off with red wine. So, I mean, it's a booze. There's a lot of booze in it. So, but yeah, I had like 2 of those, and they were small. And then a beer. It was all on the house. I didn't have like a whole lot to tip. I only tipped like $5, but and the thing is though, like usually when it's like big dinners like that are on the house, at least when I worked there, it was a different owner, but they would hook you up at the end of the night, like with a shit ton of money. But I tipped like $5. That's all I had, you know. But usually the owner will hook everyone up, all the servers and stuff. But yeah, it was fun just catching up with old friends, new faces, new friends. I got to see my boss's wife, my friend's wife. I hadn't seen her, fiance. I haven't seen her in like, shit. I mean, it's been years, probably like half a decade now. But yeah, I'm going to stop and get gas real quick. Sorry about that. Had to get some gas. My gas hand is broke, so I have to fill up every other day. But yeah, I had a good time. I just wanted to give you all a little update on that, since I did cover it in a previous episode. They did like a little raffle, free TV, Play-Doh for the kids, that and like gift cards and stuff. I didn't win anything, but I did keep the little raffle tickets because I have a card binder at the house, and I like to, I use it kind of like a scrapbook, like any place that I go to, like as a fun little date or day trip or something, and let's say I don't take photos, I usually get a business card and put it in my binder that way. Kind of like a little scrapbook, like a memory. So I'll put that in my card binder. But, yeah, I had a good time. I mean, I dressed up a little because back in the day, dude, Beaumont Inn, especially the dining room, there used to be like a dress code and shit. So I did wear a blazer and a derby hat, but I still wore just like a t-shirt and jeans because it's like, I wasn't sure how strict it is now. This John guy seems to be pretty cool and pretty chill because back in the day, dude, Beaumont Inn used to be strict as fuck, you know? But yeah, it was kind of bittersweet, like, me and, my boss and his fiance, all 3 of us worked there, and that's where I met him, you know? So, like, we all kind of walked around. We walked to the upstairs bar. I walked around the back a little bit and was looking out the window, and my wife was asking about, there's this spot, because it used to be a girls' college back during the Civil War, there's a window in the dining room with initials and a heart etched on it, something along those lines, and a girl carved it with her diamond ring, and it's still there. You can still look at it and stuff. They never tore it down or anything, so I was showing her that, and she was asking about it, but I had a good time. Let me plug my stuff real quick. I have a Buy Me a Coffee account set up in the link below. If you donate to the channel, it helps me pay for my new roof, which, by the way, that is getting done today. I gave him $200 so he can get the supplies, and then I'm going to give him the other $300 when the job gets done. So I look forward to that. Hopefully they do a good job. We shall see, you know. Worst case scenario, if they don't do a good job, I'll just go up there myself and just fucking try to fix it, you know. I already got the drywall and all that tore out from the ceiling down below, which I showed you guys that. But, yeah. Sorry for the long update, but I just figured I'd share, you know, what's going on in life, and it is related to previous episodes. So, if you clicked on the video, you guys know that we've been covering Disclosure Day quite a bit on this channel. If you want to look up any of the previous episodes we've done on Disclosure Day, I think we did at least 4 or 5, dude. I made a Disclosure Day playlist on YouTube. If you're a Spotify listener, go find me on YouTube and subscribe. I mean, I put out posts there. There's tons of different playlists that you can check out, because Spotify doesn't offer that. And if you're on YouTube, go check me out on Spotify, because I get censored on YouTube, so you might find some episodes that were not there on YouTube. But, so I watched Disclosure Day last night. They do half-price movies on Tuesdays. I am trying to save some money, but I wasn't going to pass it up because it's a half-price movie. So I snuck in a couple beers with a jacket. They did have like little free popcorn things, so I took a couple of those. I get off work at 5, and it's an hour drive. The movie started at 5:30, but I ain't gonna lie, I flew home. I sped. It is what it is. I ended up going to the movie and getting there probably about 10-15 minutes late. But you gotta think, man, they usually do about 10 minutes worth of trailers. At least this one does. So, I mean, I pretty much like Obsession, I didn't get there too late. So first thing I want to talk about with this movie is, and it's pretty much what I had talked about in previous episodes discussing this movie, but this is my first time watching it, and I wanted to do a proper review on it of what I thought about it, rather than what everyone else thinks about it. Spielberg, I feel like, is out of touch. He's an old man, he's a boomer. I feel like he's out of touch, and you can tell that tone within the movie. First off, disclaimer. First off, dude, I'm very open-minded when it comes to cinema. My dad was a cinephile. I consider myself a cinephile. I love cinema in general. Like, I don't think I'll ever completely boycott Hollywood, because every now and then they put out something that actually is somewhat decent. Yeah, so I'm not going to be like a typical conspiracy movie review. I'm honestly kind of a black sheep within this community. People either love me or they hate me, you know, because I kind of buck the system a little bit. I'm kind of a rebel, even in this rebellious community of conspiracy theories, you know? So I tried to keep like an open mind the entire time, like get out the propaganda from either the mainstream and honestly the propaganda that our community puts out, you know? Everybody just automatically was like, I'm not going to watch that movie. It's going to be anti-Christian. It's going to be, you know, propaganda, alien propaganda, blue beam propaganda. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go in with like a clear mind. Spielberg, I do have to say this too. I feel kind of bad for the guy slightly. And the reason I feel a little bad for him is like, and this is with any artist, so I should say artist in general I feel bad for, whether it be a director, musician, an author. Anytime you put out something that is like epic and amazing, from then on you set the bar for yourself. So Spielberg is like one of the most famous, one of the most greatest directors in Hollywood. You know, he put out Jaws, E.T., those are both excellent films. I think he did Artificial Intelligence, which, by the way, Kubrick was supposed to do that, but he ended up dying, and Spielberg ended up doing it. That's an amazing movie. I mean, you gotta admit, man, Spielberg put out fucking bangers, you know? So once you set that bar, and if you don't either meet that bar or surpass that bar, everyone's like, oh, Spielberg sucks now. But if it was any other director, like a smaller director, they would go, oh, that was pretty decent, that was good. But now, because that bar is so high, everyone expects everything to be a masterpiece. It's just not gonna happen like that, you know? They did it with J.K. Rowling whenever they found out she had a pen name. People were buying her old books that she did under the pen name, and they were like, these books suck. Well, yeah, of course it's not gonna be as good as Harry Potter. Harry Potter is her masterpiece, you know? Like, and not everybody can just put out amazing shit all the fucking time. Like, no artist can, you know? So I do feel bad for him on that. Like, the bar is already set high, and he's already not really been able to fill that bar, because I think, like, the past several movies he's made were just basically like, oh, that movie was okay, you know? And you gotta think, dude, this dude's older now, you know? So what I'm saying about him being a boomer is, like, this dude, the basic story is this guy, he works for this company called Hard X. Which, by the way, Spielberg, what the fuck were you thinking when you named the company Hard X? And, like, they work with the DOD and Department of Defense, or, they work with all these like, high-up intelligence and military agencies of the U.S. government, right? And they basically have the treasure trove of all the footage and research and documents and video of the past 79 years of alien and ufology research and shit. And by the way, this will have spoilers, so this guy, I kind of missed the beginning a little bit, but I did come in close enough to realize that, okay, this guy, he either stole it, yeah, he pretty much stole it. He has the treasure trove of all the footage and documents and all that shit of everything from the past 79 years. And he steals it, he keeps it in a backpack, and he escapes, and he's got it. And basically, most of the movie is, like, pretty much 90% of the movie is them running from this Hard X, who are they kind of remind me of Men in Black. Pretty much running from them the entire time. So it reminded me a lot of, like, 2012, of, like, the whole movie is just one giant car chase and action and shit. I do feel like it was more chill than 2012, because 2012 had, like, one break the entire movie of, like, when they meet Woody Harrelson. That was, like, the one break, and I think it was even at, like, the halfway point. But this movie is, like, chase, action, okay, now we have a chill scene. So there was, like, tons of different chill scenes too. But what I mean by Spielberg being a boomer is, like, at the very beginning of the movie, the dude has all this shit, and he's like, I'm just gonna upload it to the internet. And there's this guy who, I forget his name, but it's a black guy. He used to work at Hard X too, and he left, and he ends up like starting this like little rogue group who wants disclosure, and they got like their little secret base, which is like this hangar, this empty hangar, and they have like a fake house of someone who was an abductee, and they're trying to get her and this guy. They're like the chosen ones. We did a whole episode on. There was supposed to be like there is like a lot of biblical names, and there's supposed to be like this like whole Bible stories that go along with it. But honestly, and I'm pretty third eye open, but like I didn't really catch any of that shit. And I mean, I grew up in a Christian family. My dad was a preacher. I've read the Bible 6 times cover to cover. I didn't really get any of that. But yeah, so the dude's just like, I'm just gonna upload it all on YouTube or the internet, you know, YouTube, Rumble, whatever. And the guy's like, no, we can't do that. So then you're like waiting, and it's like crickets, like it's like, okay, why can't we just upload it? And they never say why. Obviously, it's because they need the action sequences so that way they can get to the news station and put it out on the mainstream news. But I don't know, it was just kind of like, it was never explained why they can't do that. It was just kind of silly. Hang on a second, there's a cop. Let me... Alright, good. I know it sounds bad, but he got someone else, so... we have a light out up here, so I had to stop for a second. But, shit, man, the dude fucking threw me off on what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, they just never explain why they can't upload it to the internet. And, I mean, I get it, because it would literally make it to where if they just uploaded it to the internet, they wouldn't have a movie. But they actually could have a movie. And one of the points that I want to make, the movie the whole time wasn't like horrible, but it wasn't amazing. The overall, honestly, I would say is probably like a 7 out of 10. It was just one of those movies that's like, oh, that was okay. I didn't really start getting into the movie and start feeling like emotions of like getting a little teary-eyed on a couple scenes and like oh my god, you know, like a feeling of elation or something, until like literally close to the end of the movie. I don't know if that's because I had 2 beers on an empty stomach except for popcorn, but by the way, I did not drive myself home or there, like I had my wife take me, because she has Japanese classes on Tuesday at the library, so, my thoughts were, it didn't start getting, like, really good until literally when they start doing the actual disclosure, which is at the very end of the movie, and you're getting to see everyone's looking at their phones and watching it, which, by the way, that kind of felt cheesy, which Spielberg back in the day, like, I feel like movies back in the day, whether it be the 80s and 90s, even early 2000s, I feel like most movies always had, like, a little bit of cheesiness to them. And Spielberg definitely has some cheesiness to it, but, I don't know, man, this movie just felt like a boomer had made it, you know, and it just felt very cheesy throughout the movie. There was a lot of cheesiness. There was humor, like some of the jokes were just kind of like tacky and dumb, and I was like, and people in the audience, like, there was like a couple chuckles here and there, and I chuckled, you know, here and there was like a decent joke, but a lot of the humor did not land. It was just tacky, and I don't know. It felt like kindergarten humor, you know? Which I do have a dark sense of humor and shit, but so anyways, what I was saying though is like my thoughts were like the movie didn't start getting really good until right during and after the disclosure. And I was like, why didn't they just start the movie with the disclosure? And then the whole movie could have been like showing the aftermath of like maybe chaos of people freaking out and buying up all the toilet paper like COVID. Which, by the way, there is a little bit of that, of people freaking out at one point, and like literally one of the people in the background, you can see him with toilet paper, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny. He put that in there. Someone buying a shit ton of toilet paper from a gas station, but so that should have been the whole movie, because the whole movie is Disclosure Day, the day of disclosure. But the whole movie, sadly, was leading up to the day of disclosure, and then it ends at the day of the part of disclosure. I'm like, dude, you should have started the movie with that and then showed either the chaos or just how the world would deal with disclosure. That's what I thought the whole movie should have been about. I don't know why he didn't do that. It was kind of dumb on his part, unless he plans on making a sequel, but I doubt that he's going to, because this movie, honestly, from what I've heard, was a flop. So when I went in last night, there was honestly like, I always like a seat up high in the back. That way I'm not breaking my neck to see something, to see the movie. It was like my row was packed, and then the row in front of us was packed, and then the rest of the theater was empty. So everyone else had the same idea of like, hey, let's get a seat up high in the back. They are the best seats, you know. I don't know why back in the day everyone thought the front row was the best, and it's like, no, that's actually the worst row, because you have to like look up the entire time, and you're too close, and it just sucks. But yeah, I don't know, it was weird. Another reason why I think Spielberg is kind of a boomer, especially with this film, was the CGI, the CG sucks in this movie. Like, it literally looks like they have like fake animals. The aliens like basically shapeshift into animals, so that way they can like basically kidnap children. And like there's a deer, a fox, and a cardinal, and there's tons of butterfly symbolism. I do have to say this, I am going to get a little conspiratorial, but there's a part where there's tons of one-eye symbolism too, by the way. And you know me, like I'm pretty chill. I've chilled out a lot with conspiracy shit. This is me chill, by the way. If you've ever seen some of my content, but I'm not your average like truth seeker or something, or Russian vids who like thinks everything's evil, you know. I'm pretty chill when it comes to conspiracies, and I try to give benefit of the doubt. But there was a shit ton of one-eye symbolism, and there was one point where I'm like, okay, that's Illuminati as fuck. I ain't gonna lie, like watching it, I was like, are you kidding me? It shows like the main chick's eye, one of the main chicks, because there's like really technically like three main characters. There's a boyfriend and girlfriend, and she used to be a nun, and he's the guy with all the documents and videos and shit. And then there's a newscaster. It shows the newscaster's eyeball, and literally her iris explodes like this like shiny butterfly. And I'm like, dude, that is literally Monarch mind control trigger shit. Like, what the fuck? And she's obsessed with butterflies. She has dreams of butterflies. And I would love to do a deep dive on the symbolism. There's three animals that show up throughout the movie. There's a red cardinal, a fox and a deer, which, by the way, deer symbolism has been popping up like crazy within cinema, I would say the past like 5 or 6 years, because we covered Leave the World Behind. We did a whole series on reading the book and decoding the book. Go check that series out. It's pretty good. But we've actually gotten into deer symbolism quite a bit within the past half decade on this channel with Leave the World Behind. And we also got into the deer symbolism of a Nicholas Sparks book that predicted Hurricane Helen or Hurricane Helene. Can't remember if it was Helen or Helene. So we kind of did a deep dive on deer symbolism. So I already know most of that. But I would like to do symbolism of the fox and the red cardinal. Specifically the red cardinal, of what is the occult symbolism of red cardinals. Yes, I'm an occultist, but I'm not super genius over here to where I can like decode everything automatically, you know. But I would like to specifically do symbolism on a fox. I know that in Native American and a lot of other cultures, because a lot of all other cultures bleed into the same belief systems, hence why I think that Atlantis was a real thing, a world empire. I would like to know the symbolism of a fox. I do know that they are tricksters. So yeah, we'll have to do a deep dive on symbolism of the fox and what it means. Oh, I got water on my camera. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up there anyways. The movie was a 7 out of 10. It was okay. Spielberg's a boomer. Sorry, but the camera's fucked up. I literally have a drop of water on it, but it's a podcast anyways. I love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think down below. Y'all have a good day.